When it comes to Dead by Daylight, what do people tend to talk about? Is it the balance, gameplay, how unbelievably sexy the Blight is? Yes. But with the recent 10th anniversary event that, well, had a few things wrong with it, there's been a wider look at chapters and killers that could come to DBD. I'm not talking about Terrifier or the misogyny accusations. Frankly, I don't give a fuck. But rather the survey behavior release asking which licenses the community would like to see. Suffice to say, there were a few interesting picks given. And it got me thinking, what killers do we actually want to see in DBD? So I compiled a list in no particular order to answer just that. First up, one of the most prolific and vile serial killers in fictional history. It was a case that never sat right with me. The Bay Brisket Butcher. Now to me, this would be a slam dunk chapter. I mean, everything you need is in the source material. First things first, the killer would obviously be George Cooper. Come on. Now the power could be a couple of things. For one, George could go around extracting brisket from survivors and the map to charge an ability, or he could slowly turn the survivors themselves into brisket. Either way, the writing's on the wall. I mean, you could even throw in a Sheldon or Connie for a survivor, and George already has voice lines to pull from. Picture this. You're working on a gen. George is undetectable, and he sneaks right behind your teammate, turns him into brisket, and all you hear is... Next, I know the community has been asking for a non-humanoid killer for quite a while now, like a straight-up monster. Now, while we have things such as, you know, the Unknown or the Demogorgon that do sort of fill that monster role, they still resemble humanoid figures, right? Even the Dredge, who's about the closest thing to an abstract idea or just beast, still has those same kind of characteristics. What we're looking for is an entity, an animal, if you will. And there's nothing better suited for that than a motherfucking dinosaur. Now hold on, hey! Pause. When dinosaur and Dead by Daylight are mentioned together, I know the first thought is Jurassic Park, and understandably so. But hear me out on this. Would an Indoraptor or Indominus Rex be cool? Yeah, but you know what would be even better? A goddamn Spinosaurus! Listen, stop confining yourselves to the Jurassic Park IP and think bigger. There's no copyright on dinosaurs. They're fucking animals. And this behavior doesn't need a licensed chapter to add one. They could create their own abomination, giving it some outlandish power or evolutionary look. Or they could score a free dunk and put a Spinosaurus in the game. Now that I could already hear it, oh, but a Spinosaurus was already in Jurassic Park 3. Or that it wouldn't make sense for a rabid beast to have the same baseline capabilities and intellect as actual human killers. Who would carry survivors to the hub? Now kids, to those people, we say, eat shit and die. Just imagine it. You're working on a gen again, scarred from your previous encounter with the fucking brisket behemoth with another survivor. And
do you hear
a Spinosaurus appears out of nowhere and grabs your friend. Absolute cinema. Next up, Monica from Doki Doki Literature Club. I feel this one's pretty self-evident. Also, added Natsuki skin over Fang Men in this game will sell more than GTA 6. Moving on. And this one may need a bit of convincing, but Godzilla. I know. Godzilla can be like 500 meters tall, but that doesn't mean he can't be shrunk down. I mean, for all intents and purposes, you could use the Godzilla from the analog horror, The Man in the Suit, which you should check out, by the way, if you really have concerns over size. But I mean, come on. How hype would it be to have Godzilla, or any kaiju for that matter, chasing Rick Grimes and Alucard at Freddy Fazbear's Pizza? Now, would Godzilla represented in this fashion go against everything it actually is supposed to represent? Maybe. Would it also be sick as hell? Yes. And that's what we're here for. Up next, and this is one of my personal favorites, Conquest. While Conquest would smoke the entirety of the killer roster and still have time to hit up Hotel Breakfast, you could unironically probably put some tangible lore reason as to why, you know, Bill Overbeck wouldn't crumple into dust from a single punch. Let's face it, Conquest is a freak, both literally and metaphorically, and you would probably let the entity nerf him so he could keep digging in guts for all eternity. Also, you could throw in Cecil or Immortal as a survivor, since he seems to get packed up by literally everybody. Okay, so this next one may be a little bit out there. It's not necessarily because the killer would be too powerful or strange to fit in the game, but because of what they represent. The sheer malice, depravity, Satanism could be too much for the average player to handle. Retep from Family Guy. I mean, he says it himself.
My name is Retep,
He
and I
is
am evil.
Additionally, you could add Joe for the first survivor to be in a wheelchair. Finally, the last and certainly not least, we got Cell, Goku Black, Broly, or really any Dragon Ball villain. I mean, if you're asking me, this is the only natural anime pipeline from Tokyo Ghoul. They basically come from the same boat. I mean, just imagine the stress, right? The fear loading in just to hear the tear radius, and it's... just... oh. Now then, would say, I don't know, Cell have to be reduced to physically exerting himself to break a dusty Walmart pallet or vault a window? Or Broly being able to be stunned by a fucking flashlight? These planetary, if not universal threats that Dragon Ball has to offer? I mean, yeah. But such is a worthy price to pay for perfection and using solar flare on survivors. For me, if I could pick any Dragon Ball villain, it would be Cell. And while I would love to have perfect Cell in this game, just the model and the voice lines would be
Check out my perfect form. It's perfect.
so good. It would probably make more sense to have regular Cell in the game. I mean, realistically, you know, barring the alien license and whatever the fuck they have going on, you could just throw baseline Cell over alien. You have him crawling on all fours and shit and launching his tail at people. I mean, it kind of makes sense, right? Please. I need Leon versus Cell. Just imagine, Cell shoots a tail and whoa. Huh. Cell, huh? Wish I'd brought my insecticide. The memes would go so hard! And, I mean, you could also put Vegeta as a survivor. And I don't think anyone would be surprised if he died to, I don't know, a talking doll with a knife. The people have spoken. And they need Dragon Ball. Alright, there we go. That's my list. Hope you enjoyed. Oh, and one last thing. Behavior! Put Slay the Spire silent over Huntress, and my life is yours! See you next time.